Welcome to the Sauce Pod.
Welcome back, you guys, to the Sauce Pod. I'm your host, Taylor, and this is my co-host, Anna Clavitter, who writes our newsletter, is the editor of The Sauce, a content creator, all-around amazing marketer, and we do this every week. So you can catch us anywhere you stream your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We also have our videos from the podcast episode up on YouTube, so you can catch it there as well. And we serve up all of the secret sauce for creators, creative entrepreneurs, startup founders, marketers, small businesses, you name it. We are covering it. We're talking about content, tech, tips, news, especially in the social platform front of things. You can also find us on Twitter, by the way, and LinkedIn as well. I think, Anna, that's your stomping ground these days. Also, don't forget to subscribe to The Sauce, which is on Substack. You can find us at The Sauce FFS, which stands for Food Fight Studios.substack.com. So The Sauce FFS.substack.com. That's where you'll get all of the secret sauce to your inbox every week. Thanks again for tuning in, you guys. Let's get into it. We've got a lot to cover this week, Anna. How are you doing? Happy Monday evening.
Happy Monday.
How was your weekend before we get into all of the hard stuff that we're about to cover?
Everyone asked me that, and immediately when they asked me, it's like that, like introduce yourself to the circle, and I immediately just like forget everything about myself. What did I do?
Yeah, you black out. Maybe that's what you did.
No, I didn't. I went to Orlando, walked around some parks. They have like this gorgeous, huge garden, which you wouldn't really expect in Florida, just because like it's so hot here, everything just dies. But it was very pretty. I saw some like $11 million homes in that area too, in like the Winter Park area. It was just fun. Did some
Winter
sightseeing.
Park strikes me as like an elderly community. That's the vibe. Is that not it? Is it a wealthy part of Florida?
It's just the people that are rich, at least in like Central Florida area. That's just where they live. That's where all their stuff is. So I just went and stared in awe and planned one day to have a house like that. So that's what I did this weekend.
Aspirational dreaming in an Orlando/Winter Park old folks community. I love it. I feel like this weekend was like the first real taste of like summer, in the sense of, at least up here in the Northeast, it's been kind of wintry and then rainy and gross. And now we finally got some sunshine. So like, I feel like the tides have turned. People are coming out. The social content is, of course, getting hotter. The news, the leaks, the drama that we're all dealing with, and we're going to talk about today, is just getting more dramaful. There's a lot going on. Everyone is feeling themselves. It's going to be, as many publications and media outlets have called it already, an AI summer. And I totally believe that, like, just on the outside as well as on the inside, the outside world, the stuff that we see in our day-to-day, as well as in our like business chairs, it's all kind of pointing in the same direction. And we've got a lot of AI updates today to go through as well. But before we do that, let's talk about, this update I'm so excited about, because you have no idea, Anna, how much I've struggled with this, but YouTube, give us the tea.
Yeah, so they're adding shorts thumbnail options. So I've struggled with this too, because you would publish or upload a short and you literally have no idea what the like keyframe is going to be for your thumbnail.
Yep.
So now you can select a specific frame to act as a thumbnail for your clip. I don't think you can add a like photo in like you could with Instagram to be your cover, but you are able to actually choose what you want people to see before they click on the video. And then there's also, this is already rolled out to iOS in February, but Shorts creators on Android can now reply to comments with a Shorts video. It's kind of like you see on Instagram when you see like that little white square with the comment. You can do that on YouTube.
Or like on TikTok, right? Where you can
same on TikTok.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so YouTube is just chilling, just giving us the updates we all love.
Doing the things that we've actually been asking for, actually listening to your audience, your user base, especially the ones that are monetizing, is surprisingly effective. Who would have guessed? And I say that in jest, because we'll talk about the chaos happening over on the Little Bird app here in a minute. But in terms of this update with YouTube, Shorts. You guys, YouTube Shorts has been the way to grow quickly for a while now. There's no denying it. If you're posting shorts regularly, short form vertical video content in general is kind of the way to go across the board. The trend is there on all of these apps, but especially with YouTube, you can grow really fast and kind of build this like dedicated subscriber base through shorts, which is awesome. And the last several months, you haven't been able to update your thumbnail. It was weird because for a while they were allowing us to, back like at the towards the end of last year, I think you could still like change your thumbnail, but it was like it was sort of different than in what would appear in like the shorts feed. It would appear like in your main videos tab. Then they took that option away entirely a few months back. And for the longest time, when you go into YouTube and upload your shorts, whether it's mobile, desktop, or whatever, you would just get this little like red hazard mark that's like, you are unfortunately not able to upload thumbnails for shorts at this time. And every time I like refresh, hoping that it's going to go away and like today will be the day that I'll be able to update it with a thumbnail, because fuck, I hate shorts that don't have it. Like, I'm very much an aesthetic, a visual person. So when I go and look at a feed, I'm like, I want to see all the thumbnails looking nice and neat. And it's been the bane of my frustration to not have that. But now today is the day. It has finally come. Do you know, Anna, if this is just for mobile or is this for desktop as well?
I don't actually know. I'm not certain. I want to say it's on mobile because this is rolling out to iOS users and not Android. It probably will have to be through the YouTube Studio app on your phone.
Probably part of a broader push too, to like encourage people to be using mobile format for this type of content as well,
Right.
which you probably should be doing anyways. But, you know, people get around it like us. Sometimes we'll cut up existing, you know, horizontal full screen video and then make those into shorts. But this is a great update nonetheless. I was so excited to see that this is on here this week. All right, let's get into the Twitter drama. Lots to unpack
Yay.
here. So just take it from the top.
So we've been talking a while about Elon kind of threatening to remove the legacy blue check marks, and it happened on April 20th, 420. So the blue check marks are only
Plan that.
are only around for those who are going to pay the $8 a month for Twitter Blue. The chaos surrounding that, though, is that Elon decided to personally cover a couple celebrities' blue check marks himself that decided that they weren't going to pay up. So LeBron James is one who was very vocal about not wanting to pay a monthly subscription. Stephen King was another one. I think there was 2 or 3 others, but he kept their blue check marks around and is covering the fee, Elon is, for them. And Stephen King was not happy about it. He was like, my Twitter account says I'm subscribed to Twitter Blue. I haven't. My Twitter account says I've given a phone number. I haven't.
Yeah, I love that too.
So that's the first piece of chaos with the legacy check marks getting removed. And then imposter accounts started appearing once these blue check marks got removed.
Of course.
A fake account with a paid blue check mark was posing as a Sudanese paramilitary group and sent out a tweet saying that their leader had been killed in the conflict happening over there. That was not true.
So
but
dangerous,
of course,
yeah.
This tweet got like millions of views and everyone was like, okay, what is happening? And we also talked about government-funded media labels and all the chaos surrounding that. Those labels have all been removed from Twitter as well, not just those controversial ones.
Oh, so nobody has
all of them have been removed. Nobody has those either.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so that's the latest on the tags and the check marks over there.
So I also heard that, I mean, I didn't hear, like, this wasn't a rumor. This was actually reported by, I think, Business Journal, that Elon Musk has also reinstated some blue check marks for dead famous people in an attempt to also bolster those numbers across the board, which, I don't know, kind of fucked up. There's been some people who have passed, are no longer with us, that are now sporting those paid blue checks. Elon Musk also made an announcement last week saying that going forward, anyone with a blue check, it's paid. Like, unless obviously he gifts it to them personally, which you just mentioned, he's done. But going forward, that's the only way to get that blue check mark. It's exhausting to keep up with. Another piece of news that I heard last week, that I read last week, was around, I think it was 28 new subscribers. So Twitter Blue, somebody crunched the numbers and still has API access and found that Twitter Blue, after going, after purging the legacy blue check marks, only 28 signups netted out so far as of 2 days ago. And that happened on Thursday, you said 420.
Mm-hmm.
So out of all of those, only 28 more people have signed up for Twitter Blue. It just makes me question a lot of things. Like, of course, I'm very curious and wouldn't put it past myself to just crunch the numbers and be like, how much are they actually making? I'm sure that the numbers already exist out there, but because Twitter is no longer a public company, they don't have to divulge those details. So we might never know like what's actually happening at Twitter, where the revenue is coming from, and even if they're making a profit, which I highly doubt. Elon Musk got shafted with this deal. We know
Yeah.
this. But like, he's not doing himself any favors either.
Uh-uh.
And every week we have more and more to talk about when it comes to the chaos at Twitter. But tell me about Blue Sky and why. There's a lot of interesting things about Blue Sky, but I'll let you take it away and then I'll add into it.
Really quick before we get to that, I forgot to mention this one part about the Twitter Blue subscription.
Yeah.
Anyone that's trying to advertise on the platform
Uh-huh.
has to either pay for Twitter Blue for $8 a month,
Yes.
or has to pay the verification for organizations, which is $1,000 a month, in order to keep running ads. So that's
Oh my
just
God. Yep.
another little snippet that was interesting.
Yeah, I reported on that last week too. Like, it's insane. I got the notification on my own Twitter. I've like run ads here and there before on Twitter, around like just engagement and getting additional reach for different campaigns. And it's always kind of been like hit or miss. I've never been like overwhelmingly happy with the ad results. But I got the notification last week that said you can't run Twitter ads unless you're a Twitter Blue subscriber paying $1,000 a month. Like, are you kidding me?
It's insane.
Might as well just like kiss your advertisers goodbye, because at that point, who is doing that? All of the smaller brands and businesses, all of the small businesses, creators who actually, it might be like incremental, but it does add up to some form of like ad revenue for Twitter. Now that's gone because those people aren't going to be playing, I can guarantee you those people aren't going to be paying for Twitter Business or whatever it's called, Twitter Gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We need to move. We need to move over to
Yes.
Blue Sky before I like just blow my top. It's fine.
Yes. It's enough. We've had enough.
Talking about Twitter stresses me out, you guys. I mean, it's like a love-hate relationship, but yes. Go ahead.
So Blue Sky, which is I guess the newest Twitter alternative, although it has been around for a while, but is now starting to pick up a lot of speed. It's a decentralized Twitter alternative, so it's very similar to Mastodon, which we talked about a while ago. It launched on Android just recently, and it's been on iOS since February. It's still invite only, but it's growing very rapidly, and it has a very familiar interface similar to Twitter. And it's, since it is on a decentralized framework, it gives users a lot more control over their social experience. And former Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, who is now the owner of this Blue Sky app, his 3 key focus areas are addressing abuse and misinformation, enabling user input on platform algorithms, and improving conversational health. Blue Sky is, becoming a potential popular alternative, and hopefully he doesn't anger Elon too much, because Substack now knows not to do that, because he's probably viewing this app as competition. But yeah, no, it's cool to see.
Okay, I have some stuff to add to this because number one, I'm a big fan of Jack Dorsey. He's kind of a controversial figure, but he is the founder, the originator of Twitter. In case you guys didn't know, like, this guy just was a tech nerd who was like, I want to be able to connect people all over the world, to have momentary glimpses into what's going on in their part of the world, like whether that's just updates on the weather, whether that's like traffic updates. There's like geo coordinates and a global map that just links everyone together under this auspice of a social network. And that sort of evolved into what Twitter became by like mid 2022. And then Elon Musk, well, before that it was Parag Agarwal, became the CEO following Jack Dorsey's exit, I think in like 2018 or 19. I don't know. We'll have to fact check that one. And then, of course, when Elon Musk bought it last year, end of last year, He fired everyone on the executive board and was like, bye. And Jack Dorsey had a lot of thoughts about that as well. But all of which is to say, Blue Sky is really interesting because it like comes full circle with what Jack Dorsey originally kind of created Twitter for, but in a totally different way. And now that the technology of like decentralization and even like some little inklings of Web3 here and there, the technology has gotten to a point now where it's so accessible, and like the technology wasn't there years and years ago when Dorsey first started Twitter. You know what I mean? He wanted it to be decentralized. It's just that there wasn't any sort of like tech that would like enable that and sustain it the way that it's able to now. And we look at platforms like Mastodon, and while Mastodon isn't growing exponentially, it definitely has like a user base over there. So I'm really excited to see what Jack Dorsey does with Blue Sky. It's been a lot of buzz. I've been waiting for it for like a year since he announced it. I'm on the waiting list. So if any of you are out there and you want to help a sister out and give me an invite, please do. I want to get on that app so bad, but we will definitely report back on any findings or updates because I'm sure that they're coming. Let's talk about this Be Real update. We haven't heard from her in a while. Where is Be Real? What's she doing?
Well, the reason we haven't heard from her in a while is because she just wasn't updating anything. She was staying exactly the same, which, could be fine. But of course, we've talked about it before. Be Real started to get very repetitive for users, and their users dropped from 20 million in October of 2022 to 10.4 million, their daily users, in February.
Gotcha.
A
Okay.
couple months ago. So they're like, looking for ways to maybe bring people back on, keep them opening the app daily when they get that notification. So this update gives you the option to include what you're listening to on Spotify. So, we all love our Spotify Wrapped. We all love sharing those. We all love showing off the songs we're listening to lately. So when you go to post your Be Real, you can link up your Spotify to your Be Real, and then you'll be able to choose the song that you're listening to, and the cover art of that song or even a podcast will show up in the bottom right corner of your Be Real post. So it's a new update from Be Real, the first ever since they launched. So I'm excited to see what this one does. I haven't opened my Be Real app in probably a month, so maybe I will, and I'll test out this new option.
It's been a minute for me too, I will say. I still get the updates every day. Every day I swipe and ignore.
Yep, same.
But let's try it out. I'm always a fan of sharing music, and so features like this, whether it's on like Instagram, TikTok, whatever, when you can kind of like embed what you're listening to or what your experience is, it just kind of like adds more context to the experience, especially if you're a creator. It's a good way to do it. Okay, well, we're into it. We like Be Real. We'll stick around and give you guys the update when we get it. Let's talk about Instagram links. Remember, okay, before we go into Instagram links, I wish we could pull the archives. Maybe it was a Twitter Spaces that we did when I was like, I would bet money that Instagram is going to be a Linktree competitor or like try to develop their own proprietary tool for a Linktree. I said this like, I don't even know. It was probably sometime late last year, maybe like October, November, because they had just rolled out the option to include like up to like, I don't know, 3 links or something like that. And I was like, I see it. So bingo card checked.
Yes.
Give us the tea.
They did roll out that 3 link option, but at least on the accounts that I was managing, it never worked. Like you could add more than 3, but 3 wouldn't show up. So anyways, Instagram has given users the option to now add up to 5 links in your profile bio. So like if you want to post a link to your personal website, your Twitter account, and then your LinkedIn or Facebook profile, you can have them all there right there on Instagram without someone having to click onto a link, go to a Linktree, and then go from there. I mean, this feature is like available for all accounts, a personal, creator, business. Everybody can use it. I would definitely use it.
And how do they show up?
If a Facebook profile, it shows up with the little Facebook logo, and then I think it just says like Facebook, and you can click onto there. I'm not sure about the other ones right now. I do know that they're, have their Facebook. Meta has.
I'm excited for this one. It could very well make Linktree and some of those other link aggregator platforms obsolete. We shall see. It's about time that Instagram finally did this. It wouldn't surprise me if others follow suit pretty soon, as they are wont to do. Let's get into the AI stuff. Got a couple things to cover, including this whole truth GPT thing. I know. Let's do it quickly.
Yeah, so Elon wants to build a chatbot called
Yep.
Truth GPT, and he wants it to be the maximum truth-seeking AI rival tech to OpenAI and Google. So he wants it to be the rival that is the truth-seeking AI. So he wants to basically create an option that's going to create more good than harm.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
understand the nature of the universe, as I take it. That was like
Yes.
part of the report that came out. I was
Yeah.
like tweeting about it last week, like, what the fuck is this Truth GPT? Of course, Elon Musk is
Mhm.
attached to it naturally. And which is ironic too, because he is one of the founders of OpenAI. If you didn't know that, he
Mhm.
was one of the early investors. And I think he is responsible for naming it OpenAI, possibly, unless that was just him talking again. He must be so pissed about what's happening with OpenAI and Microsoft that he's just like, gotta do
Or
it.
create my
Oh
own.
yeah, Truth GPT. All right,
Yeah.
honey, let us know how that
Okay.
goes. Okay.
We'll keep you guys updated. It's just a little different.
Yes. And the Snapchat AI chatbot, which by the way, I've been seeing like memes of everywhere. It's all over TikTok these
Mhm.
days. And it's now free, right?
Yes, so it was previously only available to Snapchat's 3 million paying subscribers, but now it's
Mm-hmm.
available to all of its 750 million users for free.
Nice.
You're also able to like add it into group chats by mentioning it with an at symbol if you want to like get recommendations for using certain filters or even generate photos inside of the Snapchat chat. I
Oh,
tried
snap.
this one
Okay.
myself, but I need to. But I have asked the chatbot for like natural filters because I'm not wearing any makeup today.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You can also redesign the Bitmoji because it will first appear on your Snapchat profile as like a little blue alien that I didn't
Yep,
necessarily
yep.
like, so I changed it up. But
Wait, and you can do that with the chatbot?
you can change the chatbot's Bitmoji.
Oh, cute. Little friend. Yeah, people have been all over this like Snapchat chatbot situation. They've been like, it's so funny too, because like a lot of like younger kids are like, I asked this chat, what is it called? Is it just a chatbot, AI chatbot, or AI
I
friend?
think it's called My AI. I
Yeah,
think
you know
so.
what? I think you're right. I've
It is.
seen these memes
Yeah.
of people on like TikTok. I asked my AI the meaning of the universe. Maybe they should be looking for truth GPT if that's the case. But no, there's some funny stuff right now. People are talking, it's like the realization of my AI is starting to obviously broaden now that they have it's free. It's free access. You
Mhm.
don't have to be subscribed to it. I want to check it out. I'm going to play around with it
Yeah,
tonight.
and they have done a pretty good job of keeping, I guess, like borders or restrictions on the app and making sure there's like if you try to ask it an inappropriate question, it immediately is like, "Oh, I think that's inappropriate. Let's talk about
Mm.
something else." So that's good too, since it is on such a app that is used by probably people under 18.
And then what is this Canva AI tip that we've got to cover
I
this week?
love this one. I've seen this one a bit on Instagram. So if you have like a nice photo of yourself, but maybe you're not wearing like a top that you want to put onto your LinkedIn
Mhm.
profile, you can take that photo into Canva's new AI powered magic edit tool, which we've talked about, I think, once or
Yeah.
twice before on here. And like brush over the part of the photo that you want to change. And a lot of people are using this to basically like change your shirt into more professional looking shirt or give themselves muscles on like a tank top and give yourself like muscular arms in your photo. It's a fun tool to use. Some of the results can be wonky, but some of them turn out pretty good. So yeah.
It's fun. It's the technical term for it I think is called in painting. There's some like pro level whatever AI generative AI tools out there that'll allow it. Dolly is one of them where you can like remove parts of an image and then type in something else to generate. But I've played around with this feature on Canva and it's actually pretty cool.
Mhm.
Definitely not perfect, but you can do some fun stuff with it from you're right like erasing shirts to changing backgrounds to like you're holding a phone and you want to replace it with an hourglass or some shit, you can do that. There's like many new AI features and functionalities available in Canva now, and that's just one of the go-tos that I've been using lately. So glad that we got that one in there. Let's see, what else are we covering on the AI front? Oh, tell me about Reddit.
So this one was interesting because I didn't even think about this, but Reddit has or ChatGPT and OpenAI, they're using Reddit to train ChatGPT on some of the
Mm.
data that's in there.
Mhm.
And Google's Bard chatbot is getting smart, like thanks to Reddit's combos. So Reddit's
Mhm. Mhm.
CEO was telling, I think, New York Times that basically they want to start charging companies that want to use its conversations to develop AI models. So they don't
Mm.
want to give all of that value to some of the largest companies in the world just for free. So, I mean, fair enough.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it definitely like begs the larger question of like data for training models in general, for training AI models, because so much of the data that like Midjourney or ChatGPT or Jasper or all of these other like AI tools that we're using right now, so much of that data is from like public databases, like literally public ledgers that are out online on the internet. And I'm sure as well curated data, but that's like it's a big piece of the puzzle. And so there's a reason why, like, if you're going to try a prompt in Midjourney and you don't really know maybe what you're looking for, if you type in like the medium into Google and just see what's on the Google images, and then you try that prompt in Midjourney, you'll see a similarity. And that's because, of course, the model was trained using open source data, information, images, and things like Reddit threads and subreddits and things like
Mhm.
that. So interesting. That's one that we could probably go deep into, but we're not going to too much today. Let's talk about ChatGPT for investing. And then I've got another ChatGPT update right after this, too.
This one's cool. I haven't dove too deep into it simply because I haven't taken a lot of time to research investing like I would like to. But maybe this is my chance to because a new study found that the AI, open AI, ChatGPT is very good at predicting stock movements. So ChatGPT was able to accurately determine whether news headlines would be a good, bad, or irrelevant to a company's share price, and a pair of researchers at the Fed, I don't know exactly,
The
somewhere, somewhere, found that ChatGPT can also correctly suss out whether Fed speak, which is like the purposely vague statements that central bankers use,
Mhm.
is either bullish or bearish. So
Ooh.
we have the article linked in there that'll give you some more tips. I don't want to speak too much on it because I don't know.
Bullish or bearish? Okay. I'm feeling my investing self today. I know nothing about it, but like
To get into it.
those words ring a bell.
ChatGPT figure it out. Let you guys know.
Exactly. I will let you know if I make money with
Yes,
ChatGPT.
exactly.
I'll tweet it out in a listicle that's like 10 ways to make $5,000 with ChatGPT overnight.
How'd you know?
So ChatGPT is also coming down hard, especially on Reddit. Speaking of Reddit, I stalk Reddit. It's one of my regular news sources, along with what I curate in my feed readers like Feedly. So I stalk Reddit regularly for AI news and updates, and overwhelmingly, a lot of the trending conversations, the hot topics being discussed, is the restrictive nature and censorship that ChatGPT has really started to crack down on. It's really upsetting a lot of users. It's upsetting companies because, of course, there's data sensitivity issues around that as well. So businesses are putting a hammer down on it. But as from a user perspective, it is frustrating. A lot of people are complaining that you can barely create something highly creative and stylized that deviates from like the normal like politically correct version of conversations. It's hard to do that. It's hard to make anything like sexy or cool or like have like some innuendo and things like that, and obviously for good reason, because it has to
Mhm,
be G-rated. It has to be accessible for people of all ages at this point, especially since it's being used in schools. But yeah, it's definitely something to keep a pulse on. And if I had to speculate, that the trend is, as of right now, like ChatGPT is obviously a market leader in this space for generative text. But I think that there's going to come along another tool that doesn't have the same level of restrictions, and that will ultimately become the market leader in the same sense of like MySpace to Facebook. We have the evolution of ChatGPT to whatever future tool there is. And then eventually we'll probably all come full circle again, and those restrictions will be implemented from the top all over again. But I did want to just bring that up because I think it's important to keep a pulse on it.
Mhm.
And if you've played around in ChatGPT and you've had experiences where it comes back to you and says, I am not a medical professional, or I
Yeah.
cannot give advice on this topic, or da 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 da, it can be really like frustrating when you're like, I just need the content or the answers or whatever. And it's also worth noting too that not everyone uses ChatGPT like us, like as marketers and creators. Some people genuinely use it for parsing data or for looking for answers like they would a search engine. And so it can be really frustrating when you're not getting the response because there's so many like barriers and restrictions. So something to keep an eye on. One other piece of AI news that I wanted to mention, not really AI news actually, it's more just something that we've been playing around with in our own sauce community. We've been talking about Kyber, which I think we've done a call out for in a past newsletter, but Kyber, spelled Kaiber, and this is not sponsored. We just really like the tool. We were playing around with it a bunch last week, and it's been on the market for, several months now, but there's been a ton of updates. And what it allows you to do is take any like generative image or any image that you want, doesn't even have to be generated, and then turn it into a full animation. And it does that by either like using the original image as a base image, and then you type in your prompt. So it's like, say you want like a dog, you have a picture of a dog that you generated in Midjourney, and then you say like a dog running through the park in a watercolor style, whatever. It'll create for you, if you're on the premium version, up to 8 minutes of video footage of this thing and like all
Insane.
these different art styles. It is so cool. The free version, I think you can do up to like, I don't know, it's like a minute or something. Maybe it's even less. Maybe it's like 40 seconds. I'm not sure. But it's linked in the newsletter. If you guys want to play around and try it, you can do the free version. It is like mind blowing, some of the stuff that you can create with it. Music videos, meditations.
I'm signing up right now.
Yeah, so we were sharing some in our Discord server last week. So if you're wanting to test it out, definitely snag it in the newsletter or come by our server on Discord and see what's happening. You'll get all the scoop there. But we did it. I think that's everything this week. We covered a lot of stuff.
I think, yeah.
AI news is happening so fast, you guys, and we're here definitely to keep a pulse on it. More and more, Anna and I are focusing on the brand, the marketing, the design, in my case, use cases for how AI tools can make your life easier. And I was on a Twitter Spaces earlier today, and one of the things that I kind of had to like emphasize and reiterate is that all of these tools, you guys, are literally just that. They're tools. They're AI tools to make our lives, our work processes, our creative flows easier and more efficient. They should not be used to like replace your brain. They should not be used as kind of a cop out, but they should be used to kind of enhance the existing skill set that you have, maybe to help you learn a little bit more and make your work more efficient, faster, more creative if need be. But that's what it is, guys. It's tools, and it's worth using it that way. And we have a new series starting too that our very own John Briggs is writing. So I'll link to that in the newsletter as well. So if you want to find us, go on thesauceffs.substack.com. You can find the series there. And he is doing a full deep dive into AI tools, not just AI, but like the future of tools for Web3 in the creator space, in the marketer space, and how marketers can really lean into some of these like new and somewhat intimidating tools that are surrounding all of us every day that make us all feel like we need to be on it and in it at all times. So he's doing kind of a multi-part series to break it down. The first segment is dropping tonight, so on Monday. So if you're hearing this podcast later in the week, know that it's already up, and we'll release another one later in the week, and we'll do 2 a week for the next couple weeks. So look out for that. Some really, really good stuff. John is the owner and co-founder of The Sauce and owner of Food Fight Studios, and he has a really interesting perspective on this kind of stuff. So definitely check it out. And yeah, I think that's everything. Any other final plugs that we need to add in, Anna?
No, I think that's it for now.
Awesome. Well, appreciate your time. As always, we love being here and hanging out, and also love all of our listeners who are tuning in. Thank you guys. And we will see you on the other side of the internet until next week. Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Hey guys, that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Sauce Pod.
Hope you enjoyed yourself, maybe even learned a thing or two. Don't forget, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can also subscribe to our newsletter that goes out every Monday night. All of the latest and greatest tips, news, and trends for content creators and digital entrepreneurs. Until next time, stay saucy.